Okay, everybody, welcome to this segment of Sit Down with the Boss. We're in there sitting down with the boss of the city, the man that really needs no introduction, but just being polite. Could you give an introduction and let them know who you are?
Muddy Water Wayne, Muddy Casino, D Money, whatever y'all want to call me.
Already, and where did Muddy Water, Muddy Casino grow up as a youngster?
I grew up here, Corpus Christi, Texas, on the south side. I grew up in Saki, where it's mainly just a Hispanic hood. So I grew up with mainly all Mexicans until I got to high school and shit.
So what was it like growing up in the Saki projects?
Oh shit, it was cool, but shit, I fought all the time. I had to fight all the time, for sure.
Now,
fight all the time.
When did you first decide to dabble in music?
I actually used to try to do this shit years and years ago when I was real young in high school and shit. You know, when everybody was on that freestyle shit and shit like that. But I had a homeboy who had a studio in his house and they had a little rap group. So I tried to, get into a groove with them niggas. But them niggas was already advanced. And, you know what I'm saying? Them niggas was already gone. I wasn't there yet. Yeah. I was on some hustling shit. Them niggas wasn't on that. Them niggas was on doing music all day.
Now, in the music game though, when you did attach to it, who was your biggest influence that made you just really want to take it serious?
Made me want to take it serious? I don't know, honestly. I seen a lot of people doing it, but that made me want to take it serious. I don't know. I gotta say myself, honestly, because I ain't really just like my partners was doing it, but I think I was more serious than them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can't really just give somebody that credit.
Oh, really? Now, what age did Young Muddy jump into street life?
Shit, I always been in the streets, bro. Shit, at a young age. You know what I'm saying? Been just on my side of town. I was always in the streets, like shit. I've been doing shit. I've said it plenty of times. I went to jail in middle school, 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? For selling weed in school. So I was already dipping and dabbling and shit. So
really?
Since probably about 12, 11, something like that.
12, 11. Okay, now what's the difference? Because you talked to me before. I remember when I first met you. You was like, "Fat man, I'm not that young." That's what I would say. Young Muddy, you like, I'm not that young.
I'm not that far from you. I tell you everybody that shit.
You know Leopard Street, the old Leopard Street, the most don't know. I didn't know Leopard as good as you know Leopard. I didn't go to Leopard. I stayed in Hillcrest, man.
That was my domain. Niggas from Northside was scared of Leopard though, because niggas from Northside already knew what was on Leopard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas from the North, that's y'all's domain, that's y'all side of town, so y'all already knew what was going on Leopard, how hot it was on Leopard. Niggas was not willing to take the risks. You know what I'm saying?
Already,
like,
for real.
They already did it, Tally Ho and shit like that, Safari, and niggas that already did it. The older niggas than me, you know what I'm saying? But like in my generation, shit, we was the niggas over there. Like we was the niggas on Leopard.
Really? Now, in the streets, did you have a partner that was your wake up to go to guy? When I wake up, I'm finna hit my nigga, we finna go blow, we finna crank this day up.
Like back then or now?
Back then.
Back then, when I was on Leopard?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was on Leopard, me and Black. Black, yeah, that was my nigga. That was my go-to nigga.
Now, what's the biggest difference you see with the game from the 90s and the game from today?
The game in the 90s and the game today, shit, back then it was harder. It was harder. It was hard because everybody just couldn't be hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas was getting their shit took on a regular. Niggas was getting jacked on a regular. Niggas was getting handled, beat up on a regular. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had a lot more grimy people back then. Nowadays, it's still grimy, but anybody can hustle. There ain't no blocks no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? All that street hustling out here dead. Like, you used to be able to, like, I remember back in the day when the people I was trapping with, the girls that we had around us, all they wanted to do was ride through the night.
Yeah.
Cause you can ride through the crest and it was live, popping. You can drive down every street and it was live. You can go ride down North Side, it was live. It's 50 niggas outside on the blocks.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? So ain't none of that no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All that running the cars and shit, that shit dead.
Already. Now, after I met you, I noticed you had a friend that you was really cool with, and he actually passed. And I seen it affect Muddy. A lot of the people that I bring on my show, especially like you, I know personal things, so I don't have to write down all the questions, you feel me?
Right.
How did the death of Alan Cameron affect Muddy? Because I seen a difference in that passing than other folks. Cause we lose a lot of people. We pretty much know the same people.
Yeah,
but
sure.
that seemed to be something that really touched you.
Yeah, because Aloe was a Aloe was a good nigga, man. Like, that's who made me, like, when Aloe died, that's when I took it real serious, like what I'm doing now. Because at the time I was already taking it serious, because, you know, when I started rapping, I was rapping with a couple of niggas, me, Aloe, Rodney, TX Slim, and then LD, Lawrence Duhart. And we had a group called GMC, Get Money Cartel. And I think that Aloe was a real good person, just whole like pure-hearted nigga. Like, you ain't never had to worry, never on no fuck shit, hardly ever spoke. If he spoke, it was something, you know what I'm saying? Like, it meant something. So for me, like, you know, I took a lot more shit serious when he passed, you know what I'm saying? Because I hadn't had homeboys that I was real close to die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had some people die, my age group, shit like that, but we wasn't ever, man, we was every day. Like, me, Aloe, Rodney, LD, we was together all the time, every day, hustling in the streets, rapping in the booth, you know what I'm saying? So when he passed, you know, just the way he passed, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to be, it was his birthday, he went out for his birthday and shit, and I was supposed to, he asked me to go, and I'm just not a club type nigga, so I was like, nah, you know, y'all go ahead, have some fun, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he never made it home. He got too drunk. And, you know, that's something that they was on too. Like, I had never been on alcohol like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll drink in the club, but I'm not getting to the point where I can't drive home. You know what I'm saying?
Already, I'm the same way.
1 or 2 drinks, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't really like alcohol.
Already.
So, yeah, you know. So Aloe's, he definitely, you know, he was a good nigga. That touched me for sure. That made me go harder in doing what I'm doing now.
Oh, really? Now, also in the street life, for a lot of people that I've seen videos, I know you personally. For people that may have not seen the video, they see you doing so much, always smiling, always happy, but there was a time you almost lost your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, what was that like? You've been pushing hard, #1 in the city. So let me go ahead and say that. You have no problem from any rappers in the city coming to support or anything. Now, you're not really the kind of guy that we look for a person to hate on. I know you from the start. Your heart is golden, man. So now, when a person like you go through something like that, it affects a whole lot of people. You know, I know a lot of people that had love, but I got a lot of phone calls. You know, what was going through your mind when that was going down in your life? The stuff you had to go through, things you had to adjust on the side. People may not know what it's like when something like that happened to them.
Oh, no, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because I've always been the type of nigga, I ain't never had to ride around with no gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never had beef with niggas like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have fights in the street and all type of shit over disagreements, but I've always told anybody, if you got a problem with me, nigga, you a hater, because I don't hate on nothing. I don't do all that. I don't get into the hate. I don't get into the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? All that gossiping and shit. I don't do all that shit. So for a nigga to try to come rob me and he was unsuccessful, he didn't get shit, and I still got shot, you know what I'm saying? So that shit changed a lot of shit. But you know, it's gotta be a nigga that don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Because a nigga know, like, I ain't never been a hoe, I ain't never been a bitch. I bust that thing if I have to, but I ain't never had to do that. I ain't never had them problems. You know what I'm saying? So for anybody to try to go that route, you know, it's got to be somebody that don't personally know me like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have that beef.
Now the song "Remember That," well,
Yeah.
they can go find what you're talking about. It. They can see where you was in the hospital when you was writing "Remember That." What was going through your mind before you dropped it?
I knew that "Remember That" was gonna be a nice song. It was gonna get good reviews and shit because of the fact of what I was talking about, and I really don't steer too far away from the music I make. You know what I'm saying? So for me to steer away from the music I normally make and do that, that's gonna make them listen anyway because it's new to them. I ain't never dropped nothing like this. Not no visuals. I've done songs like that, but I ain't never dropped no visuals to nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to see the whole process. You know, you don't get to see the process of me getting shot, but you see me in the hospital, shot up. You see me, you know, just getting out of surgery. You see, I had to stay there, till I get my breathing right. That bullet pierced my liver, my lung, and my diaphragm. Came out the side of under my arm. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it was just like, I ain't gonna lie. It's been a blessing and a curse. You know what I'm saying? Like the music has definitely got people watching more because people are just entertained by the fuck shit that happens in the world. You know what I'm saying? I think negativity sells more than positivity. If I make positive music all day long, motherfuckers not gonna be on that like they on, you know, the shit I do. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Now, how did you meet Boo Gotti Kasino?
I met Boo because I have a partner named Ashley, Lil A, and he was like, man, you need to go fuck with Go Yayo, that nigga hard. And I was like, man, I'm gonna check him out. You know what I'm saying? I'm really kind of I'm hard on niggas' music. I don't just go searching for niggas' shit. Like, if it ain't something that I ain't already on or I heard it and it caught my ear, I don't just give it a chance like that. And so I went and looked at the nigga music, and he was hard. I thought he was hard. Like, at the time, he was shit. He was one of the hardest things coming out of Texas. So I brought him down here, you know what I'm saying? I brought him down here, did a feature and a video with him at the studio I had just opened up and shit. And, you know, that made me, you know, just from watching keeping up with his movement, that made me notice Boo, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, who is this nigga? Because everywhere they was together, you know what I'm saying? So, but Boo seemed like he seemed like Yayo bodyguard. And every video he was in with Yayo, or, you know, them niggas be walking through the mall, All-Star Weekend, and all type of shit. Every time you seen Boo, he just seemed like the rough nigga in the clique. Yeah. So when I had already did that video with Yayo, and I just so happened to be going to Dallas for a graduation, for my girl's nephew's graduation, and when I went to his graduation, I was like, man, I need to just do some work while I was out here, because I was already fucking with a couple niggas from Dallas. I did a song with C Strugs, rest in peace to Fat Crip, and so when I was down there, I was like, man, I'm gonna fuck with Boo, because he was the next thing right after Yayo that I seen, you know what I'm saying, from out that way. So I just hit him up while I was down there, and we linked up in the studio. I brought him here for the video. He came to Corpus for the video, stayed with me in the spot, all type of shit, you know what I'm saying? Real humble, real street nigga, don't give a fuck about, he ain't Hollywood at all. I took a liking to him because he was real genuine, and the nigga's putting more plays in my lap than, you know, with this music shit than anybody, you know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, really? Now, when I first seen y'all together, it was you, CJ, Boo. Now, people don't really see CJ around no more. Is there any kind of relationship still between you, Boo, and CJ?
No. You know, I'm just not one of them niggas that straddles the fence. I've always felt like that's a dangerous game to play, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to straddle the fence, so, you know, if I fuck with Boo the way I fuck with Boo, there's no way that, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna be like, and Boo's the one that brought me in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, Boo brought me up to the next level. He put me on his platform, so that's something I'm gonna always be grateful for. I'm gonna always show love to that. I'm gonna show my loyalty to. That's where my loyalty lies with. It lies with Boo. So if anybody fell out with Boo, it's gonna be, like that with me.
Already, that's facts. Now, when you're going out of town to do shows, what's the difference when Kasino, when you take your crew and y'all go out of town versus what you see here when you do a show in Corpus?
It's a lot more support in other cities. You know what I'm saying? The other cities support niggas they don't know more than. I just feel like it's like that in every city though. Like, I feel like local rappers in Fort Worth have the same problem we have here. I feel like local rappers in Houston, Dallas, they got the same problems we got here as far as the support and motherfuckers showing up. But, those are bigger cities, you know what I'm saying? So the lack of support is going to be a lot less than it is in those cities.
Oh, really? Now, with the list that's going around, I see a lot of people mad. The only person I can see never mad is Muddy. And matter of fact, I know for a fact that you don't care about lists. So let me say that from the jump.
That shit don't make
you don't care about those lists. But every list, Muddy Water is number one without question. You dig what I'm saying? How does it feel to be the only person? Everybody, even when they picking their people, they got Muddy Water number one. How does it always feel?
It feels good, man, you know what I'm saying, to have that support, but I feel like the reason why it's like that is just because of the consistency and the work I put in. There's very few people here that stay consistent, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas, life happens to a lot of niggas and they stop doing what they love to do, and music is what I love to do, you know what I'm saying? So making money in music and making sure that my loved ones is eating and they good is what's important to me, you know what I'm saying? So that's just something that I always like. Even I done wanted to quit a few times, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't drop videos for months and shit like that, but I never stopped making music, you know what I'm saying? So I went and bought my own studio and shit so I can learn how to record myself and figure the shit out, so I can, even when I'm not making music, when I get home, I can make music, you know what I'm saying? I can do the shit when I wanted to do it, rather than wait on an engineer or go to somebody else's studio and I gotta pay for the hourly wage and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like it was more convenient for me because I never left with my spot anyway, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't going around, I wasn't one of them niggas that was at everybody's spots and all around the city. I stayed in my spot all day, all night. So it was just smart for me to put my music there too, you know what I'm saying?
Already. Now, I seen, I think you was out in California during the time of the marathon continues.
Yeah.
What did it feel like with that experience?
Shit, that was dope, man. I've never seen, outside of Atlanta where it's predominantly black, I've never seen that many black people come out and support one man. Like, that, we planned on going before Nip actually died, because Drank Nitty wanted to actually meet Nip. We planned on going to the Marathon store, all that shit. We had our tickets for like a month already, you know what I'm saying, before we left. So when we went, it was like right before we left, like a day before we left, he died. You know what I'm saying? Or got killed. You know what I'm saying? So it was an experience to see how much love he got, bro. Like, you would never believe that many Bloods and Crips was in the same spot that hate each other. You know what I'm saying? And what, no plex, no beef, no fighting, no arguing. It was all love. Like, everybody was out there for love. You didn't have to organize it and tell everybody like, we ain't finna do this today. It wasn't none of that. It was love. Like, everybody had a mutual respect for that man. And what he did in his city, and that's big to me, you know what I'm saying? Because it speaks on the type of character he had as a man, you know what I'm saying?
Already. Now, knowing your drive and ambition, just give me a little bit about what pushes Muddy, because I remember, I think it was a video I was watching where Boo said, God damn it, Muddy spent $800 on a goddamn ticket and flew out there, and I was telling him to drive,
Yeah, that was the first time I ever went to LA. he was out there already, and he was like, "Bitch, come out here." You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go to this, you know, he had a whole bunch of events lined up. He was fucking with TK's manager at the time. So him and TK had the same manager. So it was just a good opportunity for me to get up out of corporates. I wasn't doing shit. You know, go up there, mingle a little bit with people I'm not ever gonna be in a room with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was trying to tell me, you know, to drive and shit. Like, I'm not gonna drive to Cali. That's a 24-hour drive. You know, and I came by myself. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like driving to Houston. It's 4 hours.
Oh, really?
3 hours, 3.5 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm trying to think of how to ask this the right way. You might not even understand that the city artists, even like myself, younger artists, you know, they always say somebody did it before you that showed you how to do it. Okay, we've never had that in corporate, especially around the black community. Now, you may not know it, but when I deal with rappers, I tell my wife, you know, she'll tell you straight up, I say this all the time. I look at what Muddy told me how to come at him with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You starting to give us, you making a path that we walking on. I want you to know that.
I appreciate
You know, the features that I went and got is because Muddy told me, man, build your relationships. You feel me?
You got to.
That's why I bring you up so much. I follow your path, you know, and I feel like things that we see you do, we didn't know how to do, you know, just like you told me about getting my YouTube page, right, where I can be getting my money from that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not selfish at all.
No.
You know, do you realize how much you really mean to a person that can accept and really follow this person? Because I mean, that's how I am. I feel like if a lot of artists was to follow your teaching, Muddy, I really feel like they'll get somewhere.
I think a lot of them do. They just don't want to say they do because they don't want it to be like they dick riding or they biting.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel like before a nigga really started to invest into the music, I think that's the mindset of corporates anyway. Like, niggas hate to spend money on shit that they don't think that they know that they might not see a return off of instantly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like niggas here they'd rather buy some dope or buy some weed, something that is instant gratification for them. You know what I'm saying? Rather than it might help me in the long run type shit. You know what I'm saying? I felt like we didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no niggas doing that. It wasn't no black people doing that. So I feel like I just wasn't. The reason why I felt like I started later in the music game, why I wasn't doing it at such a young age is because I wanted to get money first.
Yeah.
I knew this shit wasn't cheap.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew it was gonna be expensive. I knew, like, once I started going to the studio and I started seeing what niggas pay per hour, I do math all day long in my head of everything I do. Like, I'm doing math all day. Like, you could tell me, you know, hey, I want you'd be like, hey, I want you to do a feature for me. And for me, I'm like, okay, I might not charge you what I charge everybody else because of the love you've shown me. You know what I'm saying? And the shit you've done for me. Like, you did shit you didn't have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have been just like everybody else that don't want to dick ride or follow the wave, but I follow the nigga wave, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like, I watch shit. I got ideas from my niggas, and my niggas, you know, Lil A was telling me years ago, the same nigga told me to go fuck with Go Yayo, he told me to fuck with Walt 3 years before I had ever fucked with Yayo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was just like, I didn't realize how easy it was. Niggas think it's hard, you know what I'm saying? But everybody wants to be paid.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be paid. Everybody doing music seeks out to be paid in some way, shape, form, or fashion, unless you're already rich. You know what I'm saying? And even rich niggas want to get paid too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just feel like, you know, going out and getting them features, going out and bringing people that would never have came to this city. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is something that we needed here.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? It opens the doors for Sauce Walker and them to be like, shit, nigga, I know Muddy down there, so shit, if anything, I can go stay at his house and knock this feature out for you. Or Peso, like, the niggas slept at my house. You know what I'm saying? Peso came to my house, slept there. Boo slept at my house. You know, Rizzo, all them niggas, they came down here and slept at my house. ESG, you know, I've had niggas come down here like, so they just, Corpus is not a desirable city when you think of Texas. Nobody thinks of Corpus Christi. You know what I'm saying? You think of Corpus Christi, niggas think of Salina.
Yeah.
Or the beach.
Yeah.
That's what you think of when you think of Corpus. You don't think of, oh, they got some hard rap niggas down there. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a lot of money down there. Or niggas don't think of that out here.
Yeah.
Niggas think it's just all Mexican city. They don't even know that there's niggas here.
Already, that's a fact. Now, I'm gonna give you a couple of casino members and just give me a description of the casino members as I name them. The Zone Casino.
Hard worker. He's diligent, boy. Like that's why it was so easy for me to be like, to make him game. You know what I'm saying? Like
Already.
I like a nigga who I don't have to push to work.
Already.
Cause I'm the type of nigga that I'm not a studio junkie. You know what I'm saying? I like to do what I'm lazy than a hoe. I like to do what I like to do. I want to make music when I want to make music. You know what I'm saying? So Zone is one of them. He been rapping way before me. You know what I'm saying? He's just had bumps in the road that sent him to prison and shit like that. I've had them same bumps in the road. You know what I'm saying? So for a nigga to come home and just start running right to it, like he was always before I ever even made him game. He was always calling me and being like, "Hey, bro, I want you to listen to this." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that might have been what it was on his mind the whole time. Like, I need to get with these niggas. Like, I don't know what was on his mind, but he proved himself a hard worker. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta give him that. The Zone is a hard worker, nonstop. Okay.
Now, Drake Nitty Casino.
That's my brother, man. That's my brother. Like that's big bro. He's one of the people I put on my first album. You know, when I did my first album, I tried to include a lot of niggas in the city that I knew was doing music at the time, and he been like, I knew him before rap. You know what I'm saying? Me and him didn't hang out like that before rap, but when I started rapping, then we started hanging out like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was already rapping. Him and Michael Jr., them niggas was already known out here for rapping. I stepped into their lane, you know what I'm saying? Like I seen niggas that been rapping. You know, I got a lot of motivation from them. Like that nigga, he motivating than a motherfucker to me. You know what I'm saying? Like he might not know that, but I tell him all the time, like, bitch, you getting better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he holds me at a high standard, so I push him to that same high standard. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he got it in him. That nigga smart than a bitch.
Yes, he is.
He's smart than a bitch. Yes, so that shit, nigga, if you can write an English paper, you can write a rap to me.
Yeah.
And the intelligence he has, all he has to do, it don't matter his age, none of that. All he has to do is pick up on the flow. Once he picks up on the flow, like he's starting to do, like that nigga has elevated his flow. If you go listen to One King 5-6 years ago, nothing like today.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? Complete. He reinvented himself. You know what I'm saying? So I give him the highest respect when it comes to this rap shit, because he don't listen to nothing nobody says. He probably gets criticized more than all of us. You know what I'm saying? Because of the age or his kids, you know, amount of baby mamas or kids he got or whatever. But that nigga take care of all his kids. He's very cordial and friendly with all his baby mamas. I know niggas got 1-2 baby mamas and don't like none of them bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's facts.
You know, Gator's I look up to him in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? As far as this rap shit, you know, being a father, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my brother, man. Yeah, ain't nobody. It ain't nobody. That's my right hand.
Already. Now, Jody Son Casino.
That's Gator brother. That's one of Gator brothers. You know what I'm saying? That's one of Drake Nitty brothers. So, you know, Jolie, I've been telling him since he first started putting out music when we was just on Facebook, before I was even on Instagram, because I wasn't even on Instagram when niggas was on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I was on Facebook, and I wasn't even on Facebook, you know. But when I got on Facebook and I started doing music, I started seeing Joy Lee post music, and I told that nigga from the beginning he was hard. You know what I'm saying? That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Joy Lee's son is a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? He might need to change his Joy Lee's son. I know that name means a lot to him. It's just long as a motherfucker, but
Yeah.
he hard than a bitch.
Oh, really? Now, is there a lady in Muddy life for the
Yeah.
people that don't know?
Yeah, for sure. I'm engaged right now. I've been with my girl going on 6 years. 6 years.
Oh, really?
She's been riding with me since I started this rap shit for sure.
Already. Now, I asked everybody this question, Mud. With the kids nowadays, it seems like everybody answered this question when I asked them too, man. How do you feel about the way you see the youngsters with the disrespect toward their parents nowadays?
I grew up with a strict. I didn't have my daddy around. I grew up with a mama, and she had 6 kids. It was 6 of us. You know what I'm saying? And my mama didn't play none of that shit. I didn't have one of them mamas that just let a nigga do whatever. And I had a street light curfew. If I wasn't in, I got my ass beat. Not whooped, I got beat. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in a different era, different wave of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I show everybody that respect, because how she raised me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wasn't allowed to talk while she was on the phone, and when she had company, we can't be in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we. It was strict. It was a whole nother world than it is now. So I ain't never gonna agree with the disrespect of the elders. It ain't even gotta be your parent.
Yeah, for real. Now, the new video that dropped. Tell us about the new video.
Graduated.
Yeah.
Graduated is kind of like a spin-off of Remember That. It's just, I'm basically